The night was cold and silent. Cole sat alone inside his small shelter on the edge of the alien desert. He was a human engineer working far from Earth, fixing old machines in a forgotten mining colony. The wind outside howled like a dying beast, and thick ice covered the windows. He wrapped himself in a blanket, sipping hot tea, trying to stay warm. Then came the knock. It wasn't gentle. It was loud, urgent, like someone was pounding with their whole body. Cole froze, his cup shaking. In his hand, no one visited at this hour, and no one should be outside in the storm. He grabbed his flashlight and walked to the door. "Who is it?" He shouted. No answer. Just another heavy knock, this time weaker, slower. Cole unlocked the metal door and opened it. A strong gust of wind rushed in, carrying snow and dust. Standing there was an alien woman, soaked in ice and barely breathing. In her trembling arms, she held a small boy. His skin was pale and glowing faintly blue. Her voice cracked as she spoke. "I'll do literally anything if you help my son." Cole didn't speak for a second. He had seen aliens before, but not like her. She looked desperate, exhausted, and ready to fall. The boy in her arms coughed weakly, his eyes closed. Cole stepped aside. "Get in," he said quickly. The woman stumbled inside, falling to her knees as the door closed behind her. Cole helped her up and laid the boy on the couch. He turned on a heater, warming the room. The boy was burning with fever, and strange blue lines ran through his veins. "What happened to him?" Cole asked, grabbing his medkit. The woman took a deep breath, her body still shaking. "He was poisoned in the mines," she said. "He touched something he shouldn't have." Cole checked the boy's pulse. It was fast, unstable. "This is not a normal fever," Cole muttered. "His blood, what is that glow?" "It's the ore," she said. "Forbidden's ore. Buried deep, it reacts to blood, especially human blood." Cole looked at her in confusion. "Human blood?" "But he's not human." She hesitated, then whispered, "He's half human. His father was one of you." Cole paused, shocked. Now things made a bit more sense. The glowing veins, the strange reaction he didn't have the right medicine for. Alien children, but he had to try something. He reached for a human antibiotic injector. "Wait!" The woman cried. "What are you doing?" Cole looked at her. Saving him. He injected the medicine into the boy's arm. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the boy arched his back and screamed. His body lit up, glowing blue and red at the same time. "Kalari," the alien woman shouted, "you made it worse. You don't understand." But then, the glow began to fade. The boy calmed down, his breathing slowed. Cole wiped sweat from his face. "It's working," he said, surprised. Kalari grabbed her son, hugging him tight, tears falling from her eyes. "I thought I lost him," she whispered. Cole sat down, heart still racing. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Kalari," she said. "And this is Ryan, my son." Ryan looked peaceful now, but Cole knew something was wrong. The glow in his veins wasn't natural, and the fever, though reduced, still lingered. Kalari spoke again, her voice low. "They will come." "Who?" Cole asked. "The enforcers," she said. "They can sense the ore's signal through the boy's blood." Cole stood up quickly, checking his sensors. Sure enough, a red alert blinked on his screen. Movement outside fast, heavy, getting closer. "You brought them here," he whispered. Kalari looked at him with pain in her eyes. "I had no choice. He would have died." Cole looked at the boy, then at the door. "I don't care who you are," he said. "I won't let anyone take him." Kalari's eyes widened. "You'd help us?" Cole nodded, grabbing his old blaster and backpack. "We need to leave before they find this place," he said. He looked down at Ron, still glowing softly. "Whatever he is, whatever danger he brings, he's still just a kid." And with that, the door opened once more. The wind howled again as the three stepped into the freezing night. One human, one alien mother, and one glowing child, running from a world that wanted to take everything from them. But Cole had made his choice. He would protect the boy, no matter the cost. The boy's body twitched as they moved through the storm, his breath short and cold. Cole pushed forward, snow hitting his face like needles, while Kalari struggled to keep up. Behind them, in the distance, red lights blinked across the hills, moving closer every second. They were being hunted, and Rand's glowing skin was like a beacon in the dark. Kalari begged Cole to slow down, but he didn't. "We stop, we die," he said, pulling her toward the rocks. They found a narrow cave, just big enough to crawl inside. Cole threw down his jacket and laid Ryan on it. The boy groaned, his veins still pulsing with strange light. Kalari collapsed beside him, her hands shaking as she held his face. "He's burning again," she whispered. "It's spreading inside him." Cole looked into his bag. Searching for anything useful, he found a scanner and held it over Rand's chest. The screen blinked with strange numbers readings that didn't make sense. "What is this?" he muttered. "His blood is changing." Kalari turned to him, her eyes tired but fierce. "You don't understand what that ore is," she said. "It's not just rock, it's alive." Cole stared at her, confused. "What do you mean alive?" "It speaks to some," she said. "It bonds with those who can hear it, and it changes them." "Are you saying he can hear it?" Kalari nodded slowly. "He hears it in his dreams." Suddenly, the boy opened his eyes. They weren't just glowing, they were shining like stars. He looked at Cole and whispered something that chilled the human to his bones. "It's calling me deeper." Cole leaned back, unsure what to say. Kalari held her son tighter, whispering words in a language Cole didn't understand. Outside, a low hum began to rise in the air. The sound was not from the wind, it was mechanical hunters. "We're near." Cole peeked out of the cave and saw flying drones scanning the ground. "They're close," he said. "We have to move again." "No," Kalari said. "They'll see us." "We stay, we're caught," Cole answered. "And I won't let them take him." Then Ryan sat up, still weak but aware. "I know where to go," he said softly. Cole blinked. "What do you mean?" "There's a door beneath the ground," the boy said. "It wants me to come." Kalari looked terrified. "How does he know about the vault?" Cole shook his head. "What vault?" "There's an old legend," Kalari said. "A place under the mines where old power sleeps, not alien, not hours older." Cole hesitated, then nodded. "If that place is real, we can hide there." Ryan pointed toward the west, his hand shaking. Cole helped him stand. Wrapping the boy in his coat, they moved quickly, staying low, dodging searchlights and flying machines. Each step was hard, the storm growing stronger. But the boy kept guiding them, as if something inside him knew the way. After an hour, they reached a flat piece of land, covered in white dust and half-buried metal. "This is it," Rand said, placing his hand on the ground. Nothing happened at first. Then, slowly the earth began to glow beneath his fingers. A line of light spread in a circle, and the snow melted away, revealing a hatch. Cole stepped back, stunned. "That's not alien tech," he whispered. "That's human." Kalari didn't speak, her face pale with fear. Ryan placed his palm on a symbol in the center. With a deep groan, the hatch opened, revealing a tunnel going straight down. Cole looked at Kalari. "You sure about this?" "No," she said, "but it's the only place they won't follow." Cole helped Ryan down first, then followed with Kalari behind. The hatch closed above them, the lights vanishing. Darkness swallowed them, but a warm breeze rose from below. They had entered something ancient, something buried for a reason. Cole wasn't sure if it was safety or danger. But one thing was clear: Ryan was no ordinary child, and the real journey had just begun. The tunnel was breathing. That was the first thing Cole noticed as they climbed deeper into the earth. Not in a real way, not with lungs, but the air moved like it had a pulse. Warm air came in waves like it was being exhaled from something. Far below, Rand's eyes shone in the dark, lighting the stone walls as they walked. Kalari held his hand tightly, but her face showed fear, not peace. Cole kept glancing behind them, worried that the enforcers might follow. But after an hour of walking, there was no sound, no lights. just the soft hum around them. The tunnel turned into metal, smooth and strange. It wasn't alien design, not sharp or cruel. It was older, and somehow more human. Symbols lined the walls, glowing faintly when Ryan passed. Cole reached out to touch one, but it flickered and went dark. Only Ron could light them. They reached a large chamber, wide and empty, with a round floor and no doors. Ron stopped at the center, staring down at a metal plate. Without a word, he sat cross-legged on it and closed his eyes. Cole took a step forward. "What's he doing?" Kalari whispered. "He's listening." "To what?" Cole asked. "To the thing beneath us," she said, her voice trembling. "To the machine." Suddenly, the floor lit up beneath Ran, forming glowing circles that pulsed like a heartbeat. Cole stepped back, his hand reaching for his blaster. Kalari didn't move, just stared at her son. Then Rayan began to speak, but the words weren't his. They came from something else. A deep voice echoed through the chamber, but his lips were the ones moving. "Human presence detected," the voice said. "Hybrid signal confirmed." Cole's skin crawled. Rayan opened his glowing eyes and looked straight at him. "They know I'm here," he said. "The vault is awake." The ground shook lightly, and a panel slid open in the wall, revealing a long staircase going downward. Cole was stunned. Why is this place responding to him? Kalari slowly said, "Because this place belonged to your kind. Long ago, before the wars, before we even arrived here. But it's not in any Earth records," Cole said, confused. "Some truths are buried on purpose," she replied. "Because they're too dangerous." Rayan stood up, his steps firm despite his small size. "I have to go deeper," he said. "There's something waiting for me." Kalari tried to stop him, but the boy was already walking toward the stairs. Cole followed, unsure if they were heading into safety or straight into the jaws of something terrible. As they descended, the walls turned black and smooth like glass. Tiny sparks of light floated in the air, almost like stars. It felt like they were walking through the night sky. Cole felt the pressure change heavier, thicker, as if gravity was unsure of itself here. His boots made no sound, and even their breathing seemed quieter. At the bottom of the stairs was a door, but not a normal one. It looked like liquid metal, gently rippling without being touched. Ron stepped forward and raised his hand. The door responded instantly, pulling back like a curtain of light. Inside was a massive room filled with floating machines, some broken, some still alive. They hovered in the air without making a sound, moving slowly like they were dreaming. Rayan walked among them, and the machines moved aside for him. Cole whispered, "What is this place?" "A memory," Kalari answered. "A forgotten weapon. Or maybe a sanctuary, I don't know." One of the machines floated close to Ryan, and he reached out. The moment his fingers touched it, the machine flashed with bright light. Images burst into the air, cities, stars, battles, humans in strange armor. Cole stared in disbelief. These weren't just machines. They were storing human history, not just data, but the actual memories of the past. Rand turned around, and this time he looked older, his face more serious, his voice calm. "They left all this behind," he said, "because they knew it would be needed again." Cole felt his heart pound. Needed for what? Rand's glowing eyes met his. "To stop what's coming," he said. Then behind them, a loud metallic thud echoed through the vault. The enforcers had found the hatch, and they were coming. Cole couldn't hear them with his ears, but the feeling was real, a buzzing deep inside his head, like voices were hiding under his thoughts. Ryan stood still in the middle of the vault, eyes glowing brighter than ever. Kalari reached for him, but her hand froze halfway. Ryan wasn't just a boy anymore. He had connected to something far older, far stronger. The floating machines began to shift, slowly forming a circle around the boy. Their lights pulsed with rhythm, like breathing hearts made of metal. Then the vault shook, and a second doorway opened behind the memory chamber. Cold air poured out, and a sharp wind rushed through the room. Cole turned his blaster toward it, but even the weapon felt too small. For what was coming, Kelari pulled Ron back, finally breaking the link. He blinked fast. Like waking from a dream. What did you see? Cole asked, his voice barely steady. Rand spoke with calm fear. There's something beneath this vault. Deeper than all of this. What is it? Kelari asked. A guardian, the boy whispered. It was built to protect what's down there. The new door showed a spiral path going down and down. Strange carvings glowed on the wall, symbols from no known language. Cole felt something. In his chest twist, a warning from his instincts. I don't think this path was meant to be walked again, he said. Kelari looked at her son. Do we really need to go deeper? Rand didn't answer. He walked forward without fear. The machines parted for him, then floated back to their places, becoming silent again. It was like they had done their job. They had passed Rand to the next level as they descended the spiral path. Cole noticed the stone changing. At first, it was smooth metal, but now it looked like bone. The air turned heavier, pressing against their skin like wet cloth. Cole's light flickered, and Kelari's steps slowed. Even Ron began to stumble. Then the tunnel ended, and they stepped into a chamber so large it felt endless. At its center stood a black figure, 10 feet tall, shaped like a human but not alive. Its body was made of obsidian plates and pulsing red light. Its head turned the moment Ron entered. Kelari gasped and grabbed her son's shoulder. The figure spoke not with sound, but with pressure in the air. It forced thoughts directly into their minds. Identity confirmed, hybrid. Carrier initiating core access. Cole dropped to one knee, the force too much. Kelari screamed in her own tongue. But Ron stood firm. The figure reached out its hand, and Ron took it. A flash of white light filled the chamber. When it faded, Ryan was floating in the air. His eyes closed. Thin wires stretched from the figure's arm into the boy's chest. Cole tried to move but couldn't. Kelari was frozen too, tears running down her face. The voice returned. Humanity's lost seed is recognized. The last key is now awakened. The ground cracked around them, and ancient machines rose from beneath the stone. Weapons, armor, energy tools, all long forgotten. Rayun slowly floated down, now glowing. With a soft golden light, the wires pulled back, and the figure stepped aside. Its job was finished. Ryan looked at them both, then spoke in a steady voice. I know why they want me. Cole stood up, breathing hard. Why? Ryan answered, because I can turn this world back on. Behind them, the vault shook again. Alarms began to ring through the structure, sharp and urgent. They're inside, Kelari whispered. The enforcers are here. Cole looked at Ron. You said this place has weapons? Rand nodded. They're waiting for my command. Kelari grabbed Cole's hand. If we fight, there's no going back, she said. Cole looked toward the entrance, then at the boy who was no longer just a boy. I was never planning to. Run, he said. The chamber lights turned red above them. Heavy footsteps echoed down the stairwell. The vault was waking up, and war was about to begin. Asterisk. They moved the moment the enemy stepped inside. Metal arms unfolded from the walls, ancient turrets rising with quiet purpose. Gears turned that hadn't moved in centuries, but they still worked perfectly. The vault had been asleep, but now it was wide awake. Rand stood still in the center of the chamber, golden light circling his body like a shield. Cole stood beside him, holding his blaster tight. Kelari pressed her back to a support beam, watching the stairs with wide, fearful eyes. From above, the sound of marching echoed closer. Heavy boots, alien voices, and the hum of energy weapons, getting louder every second. Then the first enforcer appeared. A tall figure in black armor, helmet glowing blue. He paused when he saw Rayanne standing in the middle of the room. The moment of hesitation was all the machines needed. With a crack of light, the first turret fired. The blast struck the wall next to the enforcer, sending sparks and stone flying. More troops rushed down the stairs, shouting commands. But they were walking into something built for war. The ancient defense systems came alive in a blur of motion. Lasers, barriers, and shock waves lit up the chamber like a storm. Cole ducked low, returning fire when he had a shot. He wasn't a soldier, but he had trained enough to stay alive. Kelari pulled Ron to safety behind one of the rising stone shields. Even with the machines helping, they were outnumbered. Rayan placed his hand on the stone, and it responded to him. More drones lifted from hidden panels in the ceiling, surrounding the boy like silent guards. One of them hovered beside Cole and extended a metal cable toward his blaster. Cole hesitated, then let it connect. His weapon changed in an instant, longer, faster, more powerful. What did it just do? He asked. Ron replied calmly. It improved it. It remembers human design. An explosion shook the ground as one of the enforcers threw a plasma bomb. It hit the far wall, knocking down several ancient machines. Smoke filled the room, and the screams of the wounded echoed inside the vault. But even through the chaos, Rayan didn't panic. He stood again, his small figure glowing brighter. He raised both arms, and the machines paused as if waiting. Rayan spoke one word, and it wasn't English. It was something old, something buried in the vault's code. The lights changed from red to white. The enemy's weapons stopped working, one by one, their energy packs drained. Their armor froze. The vault had taken control of their tech. The enforcers panicked, yelling for backup, trying to retreat. But the stairway behind them closed, sealed by a giant stone slab. They were trapped inside with the child they had come to capture. Cole watched in disbelief as grown warriors dropped their weapons and raised their hands. He turned to Kelari, who had tears in her eyes. "He saved us," she whispered. "He really saved us." Rand looked tired now, his hands shaking. The machines returned to silence, floating back into their places. The golden light around him began to fade. Cole ran to him and caught him before he fell. "You did good, kid," he said, holding him close. Ron smiled weakly. "I don't want to hurt people, but I had to." Kelari knelt beside them, holding her son's face. "You are not a weapon," she said. "You are our future." The vault doors creaked open again. But no one stood there, only wind and stars beyond. The fight was over for now. But deep within the vault, something else had awakened. Something Ryan hadn't touched yet, and it was waiting for him. Asterisk. That's what it felt like when Ryan stepped outside the vault. The sky above was full of strange lights, not just stars, but blinking signals, slow-moving shapes, and shadows that didn't belong. Cole followed close behind, keeping his hand near his blaster. Kelari clutched her son's arm, worried he might collapse again, but Ryan walked forward like he wasn't tired at all. Like the vault had filled him with something new. They stood on a flat, cold plateau where the snow had melted in a perfect circle. It was silent, too silent. No wind, no storm, not even the sound of machines anymore. Cole turned slowly, scanning the area. "This isn't where we came in," he said. "The vault moved us." Kelari looked up at the sky, her eyes squinting against the strange light. "Something's coming," she whispered. Ryan nodded. "Not soldiers this time." Cole looked at him, tense. "Then what?" Before Ryan could answer, the ground began to shake. Not like before, not a quake or explosion, but a deep rumble, as if something huge was breathing beneath the mountain. Then the snow split open, and a giant stone ring rose from the ground. The ring glowed with the same symbols that had responded to Ryan. Inside it, liquid light swirled like a slow-moving storm. Kelari gasped, her voice weak. "A gate." Cole didn't understand. A gate to where? Ryan stepped closer, his hand raised. "To the ones who built this," he said. "They've been watching, waiting for someone like me." Kelari's eyes widened. "You mean other humans?" Ryan shook his head. "No, not just humans, something older. Something mixed with us long ago." The gate shimmered, and a figure appeared inside it. Not walking, not floating, just there. It looked human but wasn't. Its skin was silver, its eyes pure white, and it had no mouth. Still, they heard it speak straight into their minds. Hybrid child, your signal is confirmed. Our core sleeps no longer. Ron took another step, drawn toward the figure Cole stepped in front of. Him, blocking the path. Wait, what do you want with him? The figure tilted its head. He is our continuation, not our prisoner. Kalari pulled Ryan back gently. Why now? She asked. Why didn't you come before? The figure responded slowly. Because no child survived the merging until him. Cole felt his stomach turn. You mean others ... died. They were incomplete, the figure replied. This one is whole. Ron looked up at Cole, confused. I don't want to go, he said softly. I just want to stay with you. The figure's light pulsed once. The choice is his, it said. But if he stays, the old war returns. Cole didn't like that. What war? He demanded. The ground trembled again, and in the far sky, strange ships blinked into view. Not from this planet, not from any known system. Kalari covered her mouth in shock. They're waking up, she said. The ones that hunted your kind. Ryan looked between the gate, his mother and Cole. His voice was quiet but steady. I can't hide anymore, can I? Cole crouched beside him, putting a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to do this alone. Ron turned back to the figure in the gate. Then show me what I am, he said. The figure stepped aside, and the light shifted into a path. Ryan hesitated, then stepped forward, but as he crossed the ring, something pulled at Kalari's chest, like a thread between them was being stretched too far. Run! She cried. He stopped, turned, and reached out a glowing hand. I'll come back, he said. I promise. The light swallowed him, and the gate closed with a soft hum. Kalari fell to her knees, holding the empty air where his fingers had just been. Cole stood beside her, watching the sky. The stars were moving now, and not in peace. Something old had just returned, and Ron was the only one who could stop what was coming next. Cole didn't know how else to describe it. The sky above shimmered with falling streaks of blue and silver, like rain made of light. He and Kalari sat on the quiet ridge above the vault, watching in silence. No words passed between them, only worry and wonder. Ryan had been gone for 3 days. The gate hadn't opened again. And there was no sound, no sign, no message. Kalari hadn't slept, not really. She would sit beside the circle of melted snow, whispering his name like a prayer. Cole tried to believe the boy was safe, but deep inside, he feared the truth that Ryan had stepped into something no one could return from. Then on the 4th night, the ground warmed beneath their feet, and the gate opened once more. But it wasn't Ryan who stepped through first. It was light, pure and blinding. It poured out across the snow, melting ice for miles. Cole grabbed Kalari and pulled her back, unsure if they were about to be attacked. Then came a voice, gentle and strong. I told you I'd come back. Ryan walked out of the light, but he wasn't the same boy. He was taller now, not by inches but by presence. His skin glowed softly, like the stars had kissed him. His eyes held galaxies in them, deep and calm. Kalari ran to him, falling to her knees and wrapping her arms around him. Tears poured down her cheeks, soaking into his robe of strange fabric. I thought I lost you, she whispered. Ryan held her close, whispering something only she could hear. And for the first time in years, she smiled. Cole stepped forward slowly, unsure what to say. Ryan looked up and grinned, just like the boy from the cave. I missed your bad jokes, Ryan said. Cole chuckled, a little stunned. Well, I missed my bed, but here we are. Behind Ryan, a silver disc floated in the air, humming like a heartbeat. They gave me this, he said. It holds their knowledge, their power, but only if I choose to use it. Will you? Cole asked. Ron looked to the sky, where more enemy ships now hovered just outside the planet's edge. Yes, he said, but not for war, for warning. He raised his hand, and the disc lifted high into the air. It pulsed once, and the clouds parted. A wave of energy moved across the sky, in distant orbit. The enemy ships flickered and stopped moving. Not destroyed, just frozen. Silenced by something older and wiser. They know I'm not afraid now. Ronan said, and that I'm not alone. Cole looked at Kalari, who stood beside her son. With pride in her eyes, "You are something else, kid," Cole said. "You've changed everything." Rayan nodded. "No one will take children like me again. No one will hunt us anymore. And what about us?" Kalari asked, voice soft. Ran looked between them, his smile warm and clear. "You're my family. Wherever I go, you come with me." Together, they turned toward the rising sun. The snow around them glowed gold, and the world felt new again. The vault behind them sealed shut, but its power had already been passed on. Ryan was no longer just a child running from fate. He was now a symbol of peace, of strength, of hope, and the galaxy would remember the day an alien mother begged a human for help, and how that small act of kindness had changed everything forever.